Hello, this is DD1 here, and today what we have is the Gemmy life-size animated Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, there are currently only a couple of these that are known to still exist. A lot of them, are likely sent off to Disney in particular for licensing reasons and approval and whatnot, and who knows if they actually sent them back to Gemmy or if they, destroyed them or handed them out to the employees at corporate, but we don't really know that. But this one here is a pretty early model. There is a factory photo floating around of one that looks much better than this, to say the least. It's a lot more movie accurate and whatnot, but this one is actually pretty good, I'd say. They still got a lot of the stuff correct. It's just, they made him a little too tall. Johnny Depp is not like 6'4", he's not quite that tall, and his overall posture and proportions, they just really, they didn't quite get. Now, the sculpting for the head and the hands, really couldn't be much better. I'll zoom in here because he is on sensor. There he is. So as you can see, it really does resemble Johnny Depp, and if you're wondering if he looks a little faded, he is a little faded. You can see with his boots down there, where it's darker, that's the original intended color of the boots, but they still don't look super faded from afar. And yeah, the biggest thing is they made his arms too long. They put the elbow in a weird spot, and then just his shoulders, he looks really scrunched up. But this really is how it was assembled. And they eventually, for further samples, they actually gave it for the middle torso pole that goes on top of the hip ring. They actually made a wooden one that was a specific length to be more accurate to Johnny Depp's specific height, which I think is pretty neat. The hat is a Gemmy hat, and it is some sort of pre-production hat, but I don't think it's original for this piece. It very well may be. I'm not ruling that out at all, but I'm not exactly sure on that. The hair, everything is original. Everything you see here is original, from the sword to the costume, all the parts of the costume. And he does take batteries. He was intended for 2016, maybe 2017, and that's why he takes batteries. And he only takes batteries. And his batteries right now are a little bit low, so he won't be moving super quick or anything. He does normally move more, but if he has too powerful batteries, then he may rock back and forth a lot. So that's really all I have to say about him. Can't say much more, honestly. Without further ado, we will demonstrate him for you.
Keep a true heading, mate, or you'll get us all killed. The greatest treasure often lies through the roughest seas. Carefully, friend, carefully. Looks like rough seas ahead, mate. Find smoother waters. Captain Jack Sparrow orders it. Savvy? If it's not squalls, it's reefs, and if it's not reefs, it's an incompetent at the helm. Oh, the rise and fall of the sea. Rocks! There be rocks dead ahead!
So yeah, the motion sensor is in his neck. He's got a very large neck. And like I said, this was a very well done sculpt for the head and the hands, but just the proportions of the body are just not accurate. So that you can tell this is a pretty early sample or prototype, whichever one you want to call it in this case, because of that. Eventually they did make it a little bit better, but they never really were able to get the arms correct.
Watch the rocks, mate! Can you feel it, mate? Old Davy Jones is calling for you.
There's his hand.
Keep a true heading, mate, or you'll get us all killed. The greatest treasure often lies through the roughest seas. Carefully, friend, carefully.
You can tell his sound
Looks like rough
quality is really
seas
good.
ahead, mate. Find smoother waters. Captain Jack Sparrow orders it. Savvy?
You can tell his sound quality is really good, like with the other Gemmy life sizes that run on batteries. They have that really good speaker and control box, and good circuit boards. So his audio is really clear. It sounds like there's actually someone in the room with you. So that's a neat feature. Of course, it'd be better if he, also took an adapter, but, what can you say? This is pretty good. And if you look at an actual Jack Sparrow costume, they have all of the buckles in the right places and all of the rings even in the right places on the hands. So they did do a pretty good job at this point in the stage of development. Obviously if you took the hands and head and, the mechanics and whatnot, and you were to put a, expensive costume on it and, a better body frame, then it would probably look right out of the Disney ride. Not exactly because it's not, a silicone mask or anything, but still pretty good. I'll activate him a few more times.
If it's not squalls, it's reefs, and if it's not reefs, it's an incompetent at the helm. Oh, the rise and fall of the sea. Rocks! There be rocks dead ahead!
That mouth would probably have been painted on the inside further on.
Watch the rocks, mate! Can you feel it, mate? Old Davy Jones is calling for you. Keep a true heading, mate, or you'll get us all killed. The greatest treasure often lies through the roughest seas. Carefully, friend, carefully. Looks